Well, the Fastnet race, it's absolutely iconic. Race course starting in the UK, around the Fastnet Rock in Ireland, and then finishing in France. 700 miles, and in the last 10 years I haven't missed a single edition, so that was my 5th participation in this race. Yeah, well, I guess for amateur sailors it's like their Everest, but for the professional sailing scene it's a great testing ground. If your boat does well in the Fastnet race and your crew does well in the Fastnet race, you know that you're at the very, very top of your game. The build-up to this year's race, we focus on 2 parts. On the one hand, it's a technical side where we make sure that the boat is absolutely ready, but then as a skipper I always focus a lot as well on the weather, and I'm very thankful for the support of Libby Greenhalgh as our meteorologist. So we've been looking at the weather quite in detail, and we were aware that the first part of the race will be very punchy conditions. Yeah, and then we've been spending hours together, the shore crew and I, on the boat, just checking all the systems, checking all the sails, making sure that we have everything on the boat to compete in this race. The start is a highly stressful moment. Any start is stressful, but the Fastnet in particular. There are almost 500 boats, not much water in the Solent, just off Cowes. And when the start gun goes, your heart's pounding, the adrenaline's going, and you just focus on getting the boat as quickly as possible in the most safe manner out of the Solent. About 30 seconds. Touch wood, the most risky bit is done. We're out of the Solent, and now very soon we will settle into the long beat along the south coast of the UK towards Ireland. Yeah, the first night was, as expected, very, very windy. And once the tide turned, we had wind over tide conditions, so the sea state was quite bad, quite severe. But we managed to punch through. We did well, and we came out at the other end in a very good shape. I haven't had much sleep. I just got an hour's kip just now, and we're now settling into another 12 hours of light upwind VMG sailing. But right now I'm enjoying my morning coffee, and I hope so do you. So we sailed along the south coast, doing really well. We used a lot of the wind shifts and the headlands to get some gains. But then we wanted to do a sail change near Land's End, and we had a bit of a problem. The sail unfurled itself before we were ready. But that's sailing. Sailing is, someone called it once, constant problem solving, and we had a problem, but we dealt with it. We lost some time, but it's always as well, you take learnings out of all the problems, and I definitely took my learning there. Wind is going. The direct line between Land's End and Fastnet Rock, it's just over 150 miles. We expected a very strong right-hand shift of the wind, therefore we positioned ourselves on the right-hand side of the race course, and the shift came as expected. So we sailed into it, we got headed, and then we tacked over onto starboard. The breeze built, we had to reduce our sail area, and then we sailed full steam towards the rock. We had a good day today, nice sailing conditions compared to yesterday. It's also a pleasure sailing with David. Being able to sail with your boat captain is a pleasure, and we have got a great atmosphere on board. Well, it's always an emotional moment rounding the Fastnet Rock. It's normally the tough part of the race is the first half, and we rounded it just before first light. The conditions were brilliant, quite light, and you always take these 2 or 3 minutes just to enjoy the moment. And because the conditions were quite good, we actually went very close. I was able to almost touch the lighthouse this year. Well, yeah, I mean, we had a very good start to this leg from Fastnet back to the UK mainland. We had some great competition around us. Fellow Swiss sailor Alain Roura was very close, and we could do some good sailing. But then we had an incident. We had a collision with an unidentified object happens as well in sailing. We're not sure what it was, but we had to basically stop the boat, drop our head sail, and spent about half an hour, 45 minutes trying to sail backwards to get the object off our keel. Yes, you lose time very quickly when you're stationary and all the other boats sail at 15 to 20 knots. And it's frustrating. I'm a guy, I get quite impatient in these moments, but you just have to press the pause button and deal with the problem, and then be sure that you can sail at 100% again. No, from Land's End to the finish line, it's in the English Channel, so lots of traffic. It's quite a stressful environment as well. And we had Sib Marse next to us on, it's actually the sister ship to my boat, and we were able to line up with him. We had different sail plans that we were using, and we were just sailing at, I think we're averaging over 110% of our performance polars, and the boat was almost a submarine, lots of water going over the deck, and we were ticking off the miles very quickly towards the finish line. Yeah, result-wise, there were 10 daggerboard boats. We finished as the third. We had still some multiple foiling boats behind us. So from a performance point of view, I'm very, very happy with the result. Well, concluding this year's Rolex Fastnet race, we as a team set ourselves 3 objectives. One was to finish the race and do well, which we did. The second one was to kind of use it as a final commissioning step of the year, and we pushed the boat to the very maximum, and we're very glad now that all the checks have been done. The boat is still in good nick, which fills me with a lot of confidence for the rest of the year. And the third point was about just keep learning and keep understanding the boat, all in preparation to the start of the Vendée Globe next year. And for these kind of learnings, it's the Fastnet race is just a perfect platform. Well, even though it's called solo sailing, it's not a solo sport at all. I'm just a tiny cog in a big machine, and the machine, it's my team, and also my valued sponsors, mainly Burgstein Vitamin and Portier Yachts. Without their support, I wouldn't be where I am, and I'm very grateful for everyone's support in my 2024 Vendée Globe campaign.